Okay, patch notes dropped today with a new seasonal Ludociel, and usually I do not make 2 videos in one patch note. One is more than good enough. I even talk way too much. But I made a mistake, so I'm here to correct it, because if I don't, a lot of people that play JP might just pull on this Ludociel, not completely understanding what he exactly does. So I'm here to correct myself. So this guy right here is supposed to be a goddess buffer, and at first Google translating, as I usually do, because there were no like proper translations at the time, the translations that came up for him were this: for each goddess ally on the field, increases attack related stats of all allies by 7% and damage dealt by 15%. Now, Google Translate really cocked me because that's not correct. And other people that also translated from Google got the exact same translation. The proper thing Ludociel does is unfortunately this: increases goddess allies attack related stats by 7%. That's capped. That he only increases by 7%. And for every goddess ally on the battlefield, increases his own damage dealt by 15%, not allies, his own damage. For a character that has a shield, increasing his own damage means he's only going to get that for one card, which is a single target pierce. Now, the way I'm probably going to be using Ludociel in PvP will be with HP defense. Ludociel is a very high CC character because of his Holy Relic. So he's going to be a CC battery for the team. Now, does that mean he sucks? Not necessarily. I think if you want to go for the most damage possible, he might be the best. Because you're going to be using Ragnarok Bond still, Sag. Gonna have to use it. And Ludociel. So that's 17% attack related stats, opposed to nothing. You had no other option. Margaret, though, gives you damage increase. And that's the biggest problem for this Ludociel. He has to directly compete with this Margaret. And when I got the wrong translation, I felt 21% attack related stats. Listen, you can be tanky with Margaret. Doesn't matter if you're tanky. If you kill them fast enough, they're not even going to touch you, right? But now it's a different question. He doesn't even increase damage for allies. It's just for himself. So it's really weird. This Ludociel, I don't think is even meant to be a PvP character. He works in the back, which is odd because he increases his own damage by up to 45%. Why does his passive even work in the back? What's the point? I don't know. I guess it's for the 7%, which is worse than Ragnarok Bond. So, very weird. And you still would have to not be able to use Margaret if you want to use Ludociel in the back. So that's a huge downside. You're gimping your team so hard by not using Ludociel, Margaret Ludociel, because of this blue card. This blue card is so crazy. The cleanse is so meta right now. There's the Taxio team, which might come back if people stop using Margaret, which I don't think people will. There is, the debuffs from, Purgatory Melee, the take off ultimate gauge, that can be, cucking your ult rush. There's debuffs from the unknown team, which is pretty prevalent. So good. Damage reduction. And you get 40% basic stats. It's really not that hard to get Margaret's passive maxed out if you're using Green Sauriel and Margaret. Or Goddess Liz, right? Goddess is the shield, it counts. 40% basic stats. That's 40% attack and HP as well. So I don't know if I think want to go for the maximum damage possible, he might still be great. You can use him with Green Sauriel. The shield he has will be buffs for Green Sauriel so that you can get a little bit of crit damage. Not going to be maxing out his passive, but you'll be getting something. And then you're going to be getting more crit chance. The crit chance is the only thing that matters here because you could get so much more crit damage if you use Margaret. So I think where he's going to be amazing at is the Demonic Beast battle. You're going to be having 4 goddesses on the field, so he's going to be increasing his damage by 60%, and Pierce cards are great on the Demonic Beast battle. I think this is what he's actually meant to do. He is not a PvP unit. He is a unit for the Demonic Beast. The current best Demonic Beast team is Mael, Freya with the Holy Relic, Elat, Blue Elat, and Green Liz. I think you can chop off Green Elat, or Blue Elat, sorry, And this guy is going to be giving you 7% attack related stats, which is not the craziest thing ever, but combined with Freya, it might be quite a bit. And Mael himself, has so much already, so it might be a little bit of a nice boost. But he himself is going to be doing a lot of damage with the Pierce card on the Demonic Beast. Good thing is that if you're not going to use him in PvP, you can just pull one copy. His ultimate is garbage anyways. It's the same ultimate as the other one. So this is what I'm thinking this guy is actually going to be meant for, and not really PvP, just looking again at his correct thing. So I was, from what we saw earlier, I was going to 6-6 him first banner. Like, I've been dreaming of Mael having consistent crits, and that seemed like it, but doesn't seem like it anymore. I feel like this is not even like a buff to Mael's team, because if you chop off Margaret and you put this with Luciel, I don't see this as a necessary gain. I don't see this as an increase in the potential of Mael's team. You're taking off an already very good unit for the team. Mael works so well because of everything that already has going on. The only thing that's terrible about Margaret is the charge card. That's it, right? The ultimate is fantastic. The Holy Relic is okay, but, it's something. And the passive is amazing, right? 40% basic stats. And again, you're getting this very easy. You're getting this very, very frequently in every single match that you use her. Ludociel, on the other hand, I don't know. The shield is cool, but you already have Goddess Liz. So, like, potentially, you can use Ludociel, Green Sauriel, Mael, which is probably what I'm gonna use. And, it doesn't overlap having two of the same shield card, sure. But the best variation of Mael's team, in my opinion, was Margaret, Goddess Liz, Mael, and Nanashi. I don't think, honestly, that this is going to be much better than that. If Ludociel, and I'll test this, don't you worry, I will test this, can do a very impressive amount of damage with the Spears card, because of the increased damage, it's another story. If he can, but here's the thing, right? He's getting 45%. If you're using Margaret, if you're just popping a level 1, you're giving 30 to everyone. Not just one, everyone. Not even counting damage reduction. Very hard to, say anything about this guy. He looks very weak. 7%. If he, when Zeldris came out, right? I think Zeldris is a good comparison. I was upset because Zeldris was not a DPS character. But his passive was good, right? 12% attack related stats, which is 5 more, right? And lower enemy attack by 18%. So he is a back unit. He's a through back unit, and this guy is a half back unit. Worse than Ragnarok Bond. Just flat out worse. 7/10. Worse, right? Well, Zeldris was better. And the other part doesn't even do anything for your team if he's in the back. Zeldris can be used in both in the back and in the front, and they're both comparable. They're 100% comparable. Zeldris is a exclusive seasonal character that should not be an exclusive seasonal character, and so is Ludociel. I think it's completely reasonable to compare the two of them. Zeldris was laughed at because he does no damage. This guy might do some damage, but we'll see. So if you play JP and you were planning on day 1 pulling him on this Ludociel instantly, I would say wait. See, my showcase, maybe Sora's showcase, Speedy's showcase, everyone else's showcase before you commit. I think with the new card set, 15% attack related stats to goddesses. This is basically for the new demonic. This is going to be amazing for all demonic beasts. 15% attack related stats if you use all same race, but this is basically made for the new one because goddesses are like the team there, and you're going to be fully using goddesses. But we'll see. He might be like amazing, and maybe you want to pull one copy for the demonic beast, but I don't know for now. So PSA, don't instantly pull on this guy. Wait a little bit before we do like a full proper analysis on him.